Did you know about the myth of life and being successful? You know, the one about the harder you work, the more successful you become. I'm sure you're aware of that. And if you're clicked on this video or you're listening to this episode, it's because you want to know how to actually have both. How can you have a successful life, work your ass off, and have an incredibly well-balanced life where you can have lots of fun and do all the amazing things? Here's the thing that God told me at a young age, and I'm sure you've probably heard it as well. You can't have your cake and eat it too. But I think that's complete bullshit, because the most successful and happy people I know in my life, you know what they do? They have both. Because what's the point of having your cake if you can't eat it too? So in this episode, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to actually create a well-balanced work-life routine so you're not burning out in the process while you're also creating massive success. Firstly, I do want to point out though, if you do want to get started in entrepreneurship and start your own business, and you equally want to have work-life balance, just work 6 to 8 hours a day and have all this freedom in the world, then you're kidding yourself. That's not ever gonna freaking happen. Because here's the thing, in the beginning, you definitely need to work your ass off. I don't care what anybody says. In the beginning of any business, in the beginning of anything worth pursuing, you're gonna need to put in a lot more time, energy, and effort than you've ever have. But here's the thing, eventually it will overcome, and eventually you'll be putting in a lot less time, effort, energy, and money, but you'll be getting paid a lot more money. That's the idea of where you want to get to. But if we can kind of fast track it for you, where you can create more success now and actually have a lot more balanced life now, and what I call the life by design, then that's happy days as well. I used to work my absolute freaking ass off. I believed in this whole myth. I'm like, I gotta work hard every single freaking day. And then what would happen was this: when I'd be at my desk working my ass off, all I could imagine, all I could think about was getting on my scooter and going down to the beach, because I lived in Bali for nearly 4 years while I was growing my business. And the regret I have was I never even got to see much of the island because I was too busy working. I felt so guilty about actually leaving my business to go and have some fun. But then the horrible thing was, when I was actually having fun, I felt guilt that I was having fun, that I should be growing my business. So no matter where I was never actually mentally there because I wanted the other thing. And eventually I did this for so freaking long. I came back here to Australia and I was working my ass off, and it led to my business just being so freaking uninspiring for me. I was so uninspired by it, and I was borderline freaking burning out. I was so emotionally drained. I never felt like it before. My body was aching, and I just wanted to completely stop. And it wasn't until a mentor told me this. He said, Morgan, you want to have freedom in your life, but the problem is you don't want any structure, which is, of course, if I want freedom, I want no structure. I want to do whatever I want. But he said, here's the thing. In order to have freedom, you must have structure. I started to think, how on earth does that work? See, for years, I never even had a diary. I was someone who I'd wake up whenever I was finished sleeping. I would do whatever was on my plate. I would do whatever tasks were most important there, and I would just do it all. I'd do as much as I possibly could, and then I'd go to sleep. That was my day. Whatever came across, whatever I felt like doing, that's what I'd sort of do. But what happened was, that's why I had the whole guilt feeling, because when I was working at my business, all I wanted to do was actually go to the beach. When I was at the beach, all I wanted to do was freaking work. So I'm gonna share with you a few tips, what I started to actually do and how I incorporate this into my life, how I've been able to grow multiple businesses simultaneously from the ground up, have one of the fastest growing personal development companies here in Australia, and still take so many months off a year and travel the world, have a hell of a lot of fun. And I focus on happily achieving versus achieving to be happy. And it happens like this. The first thing is we need to have structure. We need to have structure. If you want to have freedom, you must need structure in your life. So I got a diary. I just got freaking Google Calendar on my phone and I started using it. But here's the thing, I structured into that through the whole week. I structured in what are the hours I'm actually going to work each day. I structured in what am I doing in those hours. So not down to the minute task, but I said like one day, this is CEO day. One day, this is interviews day. One day, this is this. And I put the different departments of what department I'm actually working on that day. And then here's the thing, when that day came, I would focus on doing just that task or just whatever was actually in the diary. And then I'd put in things like gym in the morning. I'd put in things like fun time. This is the most important thing. I put in fun time for me. I just put in Morgan time. Then I'd schedule a day off. When I first heard about that, I was like, what do you mean a day off? And I struggled so badly with it. So here's what I did. I put all the days of the week into a hat and I pulled out a random day, and whatever that day came out was, that was the day off, the designated day off for me. And it was like a religion. It goes in my diary, so I do nothing other than have the full day off on that day. Now, it was so hard in the beginning because I thought, I gotta work hard, I'm gonna lose out on my business. So I gave it a go, because here's the thing, nothing else was work. I put in the gym, I put in the fun time, I put in the work time, I put in family time, I put in relationship time, all the things that are important for you, time blocking, you sort of put it all out. Because here's the beautiful thing. if it's in your diary now, all you've got to do is become a slave to the diary and be disciplined around it. So what I found was when I actually structured my day, I would structure my days and my weeks to have the balance already. I would say, and still to this day, nothing is ever on my diary before 10 o'clock in the morning. I have complete freedom in the morning. I'll go to the gym, I'll go to breakfast, I'll go to the beach, I'll take my jet ski out. I'll do whatever I feel like doing up until 10 o'clock. Because that's just how I like to work. I don't want to work too early. And then it's usually until about 10 till about 5 o'clock. Every day is kind of different. That's usually for about only 3 days a week. And then a few of my other days, they're just shorter days, they're half days. I have fun days, I have golf days. I put all these things in. So then when I look at my work week, I get so excited about it because I have equally work time and fun time for me. I have time for my partner. I have time to go to the gym. And I put in all these things that are actually important to me. And then the craziest thing happened. I had my first ever 3 days off ever. And in that week, my business made me more money than any other week that entire year. And I took nearly half the week completely off. Now, what this taught me was that hard work has nothing to actually do about it. Because here's the thing, if you're working hard, but you're working from a place of lack, you're working from a place of uninspiration, then it's not gonna work for you. It's kind of like resenting the thing you actually want. So what I actually put all this in my diary and I started giving myself some structure and I had guilt-free time off. It allowed me to actually fill up my own cup, recharge, reanalyze, replan, and reflect. And then when I came back into work, energetically, I just made more money. But here's the coolest thing. When I could still come back from any day off, time off, or having fun time in the mornings or whatever, when I get to work after, I'm so freaking excited to work. I'm so creative. I'm so energized, I'm so passionate, and I get 10 times more done in far less time now because I'm way more productive because I actually want to be there. This is literally the most simplest thing I ever did, but I think it's probably given me the biggest results overall. Actually just give myself some structure and be disciplined around it. That's the key. Because here's the thing, you can't just keep going hell for leather, balls against the wall forever. Because you'll eventually lead to a life exactly what I had, completely uninspired by what you're doing or potentially even burning out. Because you remember, if you're an overachiever and you want to get a heap of stuff done, you got to remember this, that your ability to perform at the level you want to while you're on the field comes down to what you do in your body and your life when you're off the field. So if you're not giving yourself time to recharge, and if you're not structuring this into your day, then you're not going to perform at the level that you actually want. So you want more work-life balance? Create structure in your life and actually insert when you're going to perform at your absolute best and when you're going to be completely off the clock, having guilt-free time off, enjoying time, and putting in time for all the other things that matter as well. If it's not in your diary, don't do it. And if it's in your diary, do it. This is what I did in my life to create way more work-life balance. And I have a hell of a lot more fun right now. I make a hell of a lot more money. Life feels like it's just working. Things are on track. And it really doesn't even feel like we're even trying. Things are just flowing for us. So give it a crack. If you're somebody that needs to have more freedom in your life and you know you need to create more structure and you're committed to actually creating this diary process, comment below in the section. Let me know. Are you going to actually do it? Are you not? If you are, let me know why. If you're not, let me know why. Drop it below. Guys, and if you're brand new to this channel, to this podcast, subscribe, do all those sorts of things. Because every single week I drop heaps of value to help you guys develop the skill set and the mindset to create your dream life. But until next episode, guys, go out there and dream out loud.